Today I'm going to show you how to get the Servant's Lantern and the Saviour of Golden Sand Sails. Alright, first things first, this is a guide for the Lost Sands adventure. Now, if you don't know, adventures are basically time-limited story missions. So this one is only playable between May 26th and June 9th. After June 9th, the rewards will be unobtainable and the adventure will not be playable. So there's just under a week left in this one. And sorry this video came out later than I meant for it to be. I was just kind of busy this week. So sorry it's a bit late. Now this is one of the most interesting adventures so far because they're trying something completely new. Now I'm going to have to give you a little bit of context for this to make sense. So if you didn't know, the outpost known as Golden Sands Outpost was destroyed a few months ago. Now recently Merrick and a few of the previous inhabitants of Golden Sands went back there to try and rebuild it, bring it back to its former glory. But the people who originally destroyed it, being the Servant of the Flame and Flameheart, don't want that to happen. So they are trying to basically make it impossible to rebuild and blow it to smithereens and just annihilate it. Now this conflict has kind of been happening for the last couple of adventures, but this one is kind of the culmination of that, the finale. Now this adventure actually has two different versions, the version where you side with Merrick and help rebuild Golden Sands, and the version where you side with the Servant and help destroy it. Now a few things with this different path system. You can complete both paths, so don't worry, you don't have to be too picky about which one you pick, but when the adventure ends, whichever path has been completed more times will decide the fate of Golden Sands. So if the Servant's path has been completed more, Golden Sands will get destroyed after the adventure, and if Merrick's path has been completed more, Golden Sands will be saved after the adventure. Now, this is just kind of background stuff, but I think it's super cool. When you're in Golden Sands, you can actually tell which side is winning. It'll look the same as it always has if it's tied, but if Merrick's winning, the fog will have kind of faded out a little bit, and you can kind of see a little more sun like this. And if the Reapers are winning, the fog gets more dense and you'll start seeing these mysterious phantoms appearing around the island. And if you're not really sure who's winning from this, you can go to the website in the description. That's like the Sea of Thieves website's page for the adventure. And if you scroll down, you get this thing that shows which side is winning. So currently, as of recording, the Servant's winning. Very last thing before we get to the actual guide part, I just want to cover all the bases here. The rewards for this one work a little bit different. So if you complete the Servant's path of the adventure, you'll get the Servant's Lantern, which looks like this. If you complete Merrick's half of the adventure, you'll get the Saviour of Golden Sand Sails, which look like this. And you can get both rewards, by the way, just to be 100% clear. Now, there is an additional reward for if you complete every single deed in the entire adventure, you'll get the title Victor of Golden Sands. Now, if you complete both paths, you'll get about 90% of the deeds. The couple that you won't get are mostly journals, so there's a few journals the Servant wrote and a few journals Merrick wrote that are hidden around islands you go to. So to save you the time, whenever you're near a journal, I'll mention it, but if you don't want the Victor of Golden Sands title, don't worry about these, they're optional and you can completely ignore them. And there's only one more deed that's going to be a potential problem, which is destroy a stolen Soulflame rowboat. Now, these are Soulflame rowboats, they have a keg strapped to the back, so all you have to do is shoot the keg a few times or light the fuse and it'll explode. Now the reason I'm mentioning this beforehand, because this is potentially the hardest deed in the entire thing. Soulflame rowboats can spawn randomly or through this adventure, so just if you see one that isn't yours, blow it up. And naturally spawning ones do count, I have tested it. And now that we have all of that out of the way, we can actually start with the adventure itself. Alright, so we're going to start with the Servant's Path. So first of all, technically the start for this adventure is by talking to Lorena, hitting Begin Adventure, and then choosing the Servant's Path. But you can skip the first step and go straight to the Reaper's Hideout. Though if you want the Victor of Golden Sands title, you have to start it from Lorena at least once. So if you start it from Lorena, you're going to need to head to Wanderer's Refuge. Once you get there, you're going to go up to the highest point here by this bell, and you'll see the Servant of the Flame kind of duck into this bush. So it's a bit confusing what you have to do next, but you actually have to walk over to your left down here, find the Servant again, they'll duck into a bush again, then turn left more and walk up to this kind of bush wall thing. Then the Servant will walk out, then talk to the Servant and hit continue. Then the Servant will talk for a second and then tell you to meet him at the Reaper's Hideout. And also before you leave, there is a journal here, so turn around, walk down here, down the coast, into this cave, and right by this campfire you'll find your first Servant journal. Then head to Reaper's Hideout and talk to the Servant of the Flame. Then hit the continue adventure option, and you can again skip straight to this part if you go straight to the Servant. The Servant will then give you two things, a cool Reaper's Compass and a checklist. The checklist has 4 things. Find your Soulflame rowboat, collect a Relics cache, deliver the Relics cache, and blow up your Soulflame rowboat at Golden Sands. First things first, you're going to have to find your Soulflame rowboat. Before you leave, go over here and grab this Servant journal. Then follow your compass to your Soulflame rowboat, which, by the way, this is a reskinned cannon rowboat with a reinforced keg at the back. So you can go up and interact and light this, but it can also be blown up by hitting it with cannons or other weapons enough times. Then once you get on your rowboat, you'll get the checklist updated notification. Then you're going to want to take out your compass and follow it all the way to Twin Groves. It is important that you take just your Soulflame rowboat. If you take your normal ship, you actually can't continue the adventure, so just take the rowboat. Once you get to Twin Groves, walk up to this bush and a Reaper will walk out. Talk to the Reaper and they'll hand you a relics cache. Go put that on your rowboat and that's the second thing off your checklist. And also, before you leave, go grab this journal. Then get back on your rowboat and row all the way to Cannon Cove again, following the compass. Try and dock at this beach if you can, as it's the optimal place. Then grab your relics cache, jump onto the island, and follow the compass to this bush, and the Reaper will walk out, hand them the relics cache. And again, before you leave this island, go over to the opposite side to this beach, grab the servant journal. There's also one of Merrick's journals just over here, so you can grab that while you're here as well. Then head back to your rowboat, and then continue to row all the way to Golden Sands. Then once you get here, get your rowboat to where you think it's close enough, and then light the fuse on the keg, or shoot it, and then it will blow up, and you'll get the notification, Soulflame rowboat blown up at Golden Sands. And then that should be the fourth thing off your checklist. Then go find a mermaid, which will bring you back to your ship, which is hopefully still at the Reaper's hideout. Then go inside, talk to the Reaper, and you're done with the Reaper's side. You should now have the Servant's Lantern. And next, we'll do the Hunter's Path. So again, you can start this from Lorena, or you can just go straight to Golden Sands and talk to Merrick there. Lorena will just tell you to go and meet Merrick at Golden Sands, so it really doesn't matter which one you do. Either talk to Lorena or don't, and then go to Golden Sands. Once you get there, speak to Merrick. He'll be by all of the major faction building areas, just here. Talk to Merrick and hit Continue Adventure. Then let him talk, then talk to him again, and then hit Continue Adventure again. He'll then give you a checklist with 4 things. Speak with Tina, speak with Sharon, deliver Tina's rum to Merrick, and deliver Sharon's sailcloth to Merrick. And also, before you leave, go grab this journal way over on the opposite side of the island, just here. Okay, once you grab that, go back to your ship. Now you're gonna have to go meet Tina at Cannon Cove and Sharon at Smuggler's Bay. Now it doesn't matter which order you do these in, but we'll start with Cannon Cove and Tina because they're closer. So make your way over to Cannon Cove, and then once you get there, you're gonna wanna go to this beach over here. Talk to Tina, exhaust all of her dialogue options, and then you should get the checklist updated notification. Then turn around, go to this rowboat, and take the map out of it. This is basically just a normal X marks the spot map, but before you do that, go over to this beach and grab this Merrick journal. There's also a Reaper journal farther down the beach, so you can get both at the same time. Then you're going to want to follow your X marks the spot map and find the rum. Now the thing with rum is it has a health bar. Every time it takes damage, it'll deplete, and if it gets destroyed, I'm pretty sure you fail the adventure and have to start over. Try your best not to let it get destroyed. Also, jumping damages it, so don't jump. As soon as you find the rum, you're going to want to dig it up as fast as possible and then get out of there, as phantoms will start spawning. And don't bother fighting the phantoms, they just keep respawning over and over forever. So you're going to have to take the rum and get out of there. If you're on a higher up area, I would recommend jumping off into the water, as the phantoms won't follow you there and you'll take no fall damage. Then get the rum onto your boat, and I would recommend throwing it on the crow's nest, as that's the least likely place to get hit by cannonballs or megalodons or anything like that. Then head over to Smuggler's Bay. Once you get there, go to this beach and speak with Sharon. Again, exhaust all of her dialogue options until you get the checklist updated notification. Turn around, grab this map. Same deal, it's an X marks the spot map. But first, go all the way around the beach on the inside over to the other coast and grab this Merrick journal. Then check your map and go find the sailcloth. Now, sailcloth is basically just cloth, so it can't go into water. So just keep it out of the water, harpoon it to get onto your ship, whatever. Also, this is the exact same thing, you dig it up and phantoms will start spawning. But you don't have to worry about it as much because the sailcloth can't take damage and break like that. Just make sure you keep the cloth out of the water. Then once you have both on board your ship, head all the way back to Golden Sands and deliver each of them to Merrick. Once you do, talk to Merrick and hit the complete adventure option. And you're done. You should now have the Saviour of Golden Sands sails. And now, if you've completed both paths, we're going to talk about the remaining deeds, because there are potentially a couple. So first, we'll just go over all the deeds. If you want to track any of these, go into your menu, Adventures, and then Deeds, and then they're all in here. Now for the Reaper's Path, there's Speak to a Shadowy Figure, which requires you to talk to the Servant of the Flame on Wanderer's Refuge. Smuggler Relic Cache, which is just deliver the Relic Cache. Destroy your Soulflame rowboat near Golden Sands. So you should have all of those from completing the Servant's Path. For Merrick's path, there's Speak with Merrick, deliver Tina's rum in perfect condition, and deliver Sharon's cloth in perfect condition. So you should probably have both of those from completing it, but if you don't, just play it again and be extra careful with the rum or the cloth. Then there's the safely destroy a stolen Soulflame rowboat. Again, just blow up any rowboat that isn't yours and you should get this. And then there's read one of Merrick's journals, read one of the servants' journals, you should have both of those. Read all 4 of the servants' journals, which you should have, and then read all 4 of Merrick's journals, which you should have 3 of 4, because the last one is kind of in the middle of nowhere. So to get this, all you have to do is go to Stefan's Spoils, and it's just on the dock right here. And now you should have the Victor of Golden Sands title. Anyway, that is pretty much everything. If you found this video helpful, it'd be great if you would consider leaving a like. And I make Sea of Thieves guides like this every week, so that sounds like something that'd be interesting to you if you would consider subscribing. We're getting pretty close to 5,000 subscribers, which is very exciting. And if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. I will try and answer them as soon as possible, and I'll see you guys next week.